woman because my mother was a pioneer for women's sports, and just to see anything that they advance women is important to me, and it's really special. And she was able to see that and be a part of Mary Lou's induction. And you know, Rudy T, I'm actually remember when you played, and you're actually I remember all of your 33 years you've been with the Rockets. So that's what's special. But I think it's important to watch how people evolve. And when I started coaching, which I never on earth thought I would be doing, you know, I looked back at the people that had an effect in my life that made the transition, because everyone doesn't make it. It isn't easy. It's in a lot of cases, it's so much more difficult, because now you have to manage other people's lives or ideas, understand what's going on, what's in their backstory, and you have to really work off the track even more. And so your role model as doing it and then taking it all the way to the top in the championship, and then just exuberance. I mean, we shared that energy when you were genuinely happy after all those years of being with this program, being the one to bring that championship. So that's why it's really special. And I'm just very, very happy. And you know what? We're here because we're all dealing with a global challenge. And the thing about it is that forever, this will be a special year in this award, and I'm really happy to be a part of it.
Final question. Mary Lou mentioned, or we asked her about having to be perfect in her last vault, and she was, to win the gold medal. You were close to perfect throughout your career. The 10 World Championships, 8 gold, 10 Olympic medals, 8 gold. 65 straight long jump competitions over a 10-year span, you won. So if you had a bad day, you had to somehow persevere. You couldn't have an off day. You had to be near perfect for 10 years. How did you do that?
Well, I first of all, I wasn't totally super perfect that last time. Is what you know, I took pride in it. You know, I was a sprinter and everything, but I took pride in the long jump. And so the one thing that I take from Coach Tellez, and I say this many times, if I had never met him, you wouldn't know me. I'd be somewhere, some other school, doing something else. But he was not an emotional guy. And I'll just give you a quick story that I learned when I was young. So when I was 19 at U of H, I set a world record. The first one, it was a surprise, and it happened. 2 weeks later, I went to the national championships, and I was kind of playing around because I was a foot and a half farther than everybody. So he came down on my second jump that I was messing around. And he said, well, obviously I just figured out. And he walked up, just those words, walked up the stadium, left the arena. Okay. And so at 19, I was like, how dare him? I wasn't even old enough to process that he was really laying me out. So I went down on the next jump, and I missed that world record by 1/4 of an inch. Okay. And so he walked back in there and stayed at the top. Didn't come down, didn't say anything. And I got the message right there. Don't waste your talent. You know, this is serious. And so I never forgot that. And I think that because of that, I had to be almost perfect, because in our event, anything you do, it's done in seconds. I mean, the 100 meters, you make one mistake, you lost. In the long jump, you're in the air 1 second. So you have to, everything is just learned and learned over and over and over and over and over. And you have to just block everything else out.
The incredible Carl Lewis. Well, one more question. Oh, wait, don't leave yet. We have one question.
Well, it goes deeper. When you talked about Coach Lewis and Coach Yeoman, when I came here, like I said, I was just a track kid from New Jersey, and a heck of a lot smaller, and a lot skinnier, and they took an interest in me as someone that wasn't a football player, and then that came out of all of it, because at that time, you know, Coach Lewis, Coach Yeoman, Coach Tellez, Coach Williams, and I think it's Coach Stockton. They all became Hall of Famers. So it was a thing where there was just, it felt like a greatness at that time. Every program was good at the school. Basketball, the Oilers were exciting. So it was just an exciting time to be here, and that you fed off of all of that. And there was a sense of pride when the basketball team was doing well, because Rob Williams came in with me as a freshman, and then Clyde and him came 1 year later. And so I was able to watch the youth of that. And when I see them, it's just amazing because we came here as 18-year-olds dreaming, and now we're all Hall of Famers. So that's what I got out of it. It's just the energy of all of us being in the dorms at one time, and then watching the process of that and seeing the basketball team going. You know, all these other sports teams inspired me, and the coaches to me were the ones that really, really were the anchor of all of that, because all those coaches, including, you know, remember Bud and all these coaches were just such an inspiration to all the athletes. It inspired me. And then when we go to the Olympics with Mary Lou and them and Bella, I mean, just stepped right in. So it was just a special time.
The amazing Carl Lewis, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Carl. Rudy T. Rudy T was number 2 overall pick in the NBA draft in 1970. San Diego Rockets back then. And then a year later, it was destiny. You were a Houstonian for a long time after that.
Yeah, I remember the day in San Diego. It was the off season. I was ready to go to the beach in San Diego, and the TV was on, and I didn't have a remote at the time. And I went down to shut it off with my finger, and they said the San Diego Rockets had been sold to a group in Houston, Texas. And I said, they don't even play basketball in Texas. And when I came here, that was sort of the thing. We had some games. I remember playing the Lakers in the Astrodome, and 80% of our fans cheered for the Lakers because they knew those guys, Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, and we were the new guys. And then we had 13 home games in either San Antonio, Waco, or El Paso. So those people weren't connected to Houston, and we were going against the odds. And I'm so proud that we hung in there all those years. The owners we had, the players we had, that, you know, when it's all said and done, we every team in Texas, the Mavericks, San Antonio, and us have won championships. And I feel we were part of bringing that sport to this state.
Yeah, you not only put Houston basketball on the map, but you put the state of Texas basketball on the map with those championships. But I think one of the common traits that you all have, Fairmont, West Virginia, and Willingboro, New Jersey, is all the hard work it took to get here. When you say never underestimate the heart of the champion, that has to be part of your life story too, because you've overcome a lot to get where you are.
Well, absolutely. It's amazing. I was very lucky. I had a mentor, my uncle, who gave me a game plan as a young man. I didn't have money. I wasn't going to be able to go to college, to get a sport and have good grades, and maybe you'll get a free education. And so that was a simple plan, you know, early in my life. So my city was known for baseball players. In 1959, guys who were 2 years older than me went all the way to Williamsport and won. Oh, wow. There, my cousin was on that team. He was the second baseman. And my uncle bought me the equipment. We couldn't afford it, shoes and glove. And so I went out, and I was an all-star, and I was good at it, but I didn't love it. And then I ran into a coach that was sarcastic, and I just don't like sarcasm in coaching, and I promised myself I would never do it. Well, anyway, I wanted to quit. And I went to him and I told him, and he says, I don't think you should quit. You know, you started. But then he went down and he watched, and he says, you don't have to go through that. But remember, keep your grades up and get a sport. What sport are you going to play? And I said, basketball. And he said, but you were on the junior high team and you never got in the game. I says, yeah, but I love it. And that love for that sport, and I had people in the NBA tell me I wasn't good enough. And, you know, you believe in yourself, and you keep doing the things you need to do, and it can happen.
Any questions from the media for Rudy Tomjanovich? Not only do you have a special bond with the fellow Hall of Famers here from the 2020 class, the 1994-95 champions have brought a world championship to the city of Houston. How much are you guys all still in touch? How much do you try and get together when you can? How much do you see of the 94-95 team?
Yeah, I see the coaches more. They're still coaching, and when they come through town, and I see the players once in a while. wonderful thing happened when I moved to Austin. We used to have training camp in Austin, and one of the players that went there fell in love with Austin and moved up there, and that's Otis Thorpe. Okay. And I get to see Otis in Austin on the golf course, and you know, I thought he'd have some bad feelings because we traded to get Clyde, and he's been so good with me. It just warms my heart, because it wasn't that we thought he was a problem or anything. He was just a valuable asset, and sometimes you got to do it. It's the tough part of the business. But him, and I see Mario once in a while, and Sam Cassell is coaching, Scotty Brooks, you know. So it's a family. We'll always be tied together, and just a blessing to have that.
Not only a Houston Hall of Famer, but after much overdue, he's now going into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame in just a few months. Rudy Tomjanovich. Thank you. So that'll pretty much wrap up this part of our ceremony, the ring ceremony. We're going to have the unveiling of the plaques. For those of you watching on stream, you can follow us as we'll go down the walk here and unveil those plaques. But I want to thank everybody who came out today. I know it's a little bit different in 2020, 2021, but thank you all for being here. Thank you to the mayor. He's going to be involved with unveiling the plaques too. And we're going to get to the next part of our program right now. Thank you, everyone.
Good job.
All right, Rudy, thank you.